Alright, and we are back, and I think music is playing. I think it is. Welcome to the stream, friend of the stream, Rio de Lobos. How are you doing tonight? And welcome everyone else to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Alewolf, otherwise known as Ales, gentleman streamer, the excellence of in execution, Beer Goggles 21. We made it just in time. As usual, I am the one to be late for my own schedule that I pre-planned several days in advance, but that is how life goes. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. And yeah, definitely appreciate you making it to stream, though never feel like you actually have to do it. I'm sure that you've got other fun things on schedule, more important things than watching this old wolf play games and fail at them. But yes, we made it, and it is we made it just in time before June, and that doesn't really mean anything to anyone other than the fact that it is the middle of the year. It is already the middle of 2023. Imagine that. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? I feel like we were just celebrating New Year's, and now it's we're halfway there, and time is just flying. And to be perfectly honest with you folks, it doesn't get any better the older that you get. And as you guys can imagine, I'm ancient, so yeah. Yeah, welcome to the stream, Inigo. How are you doing? What was the other one? Ales Mama Boy or something? I forgot. Well, it was Mama Ale's Baby Boy. That's what that was. I think that's how that went. Yeah, so it's been a crazy year. Time just flies fast, and that's actually why I have the question of the night pinned. Do you feel like time goes fast? I feel like every single one of my friends, colleagues, kind of just suggest to me that yeah, time just seems to be passing by fast. And I did hear one time in some scientific article that said that the reason why the older you get, it feels like time passes faster is because things are no longer new to you. Like when you're a kid, you're experiencing things for the first time, and you're just like wondered by the world, and everything seems amazing, and school seems great. Not really, but you know, all these new things, and so time kind of just seems to slow down for you to like accept all those things. Whereas when you're old, you're like working potentially, you're doing very humdrum things, and so time seems to just go fast because of that. So I don't know how well proven that is, but it seems to ring true for me, and I wish time moved slower sometimes. Anyways, that's just a random conversation that I was just thinking about before powering up here. Before we move on to the game, and there will be a game, Donkey Kong Country 2, which we haven't played in over a month at this point. I will be talking about what I'm drinking tonight. First drink of the week is always the best and the one that hits you the hardest. Tonight we have Hoegaarden, which is a wheat beer. Which is something that most people have seen in their own convenience stores and things like that. I feel like it's pretty common in terms of like imported beers. Hoegaarden is a wheat beer, and so you're wondering, well, what is a wheat beer? I thought most beers were made of barley or some secret beer sauce. Yeah, you know, I don't know that a lot of people recognize it necessarily, but at least every single time that I've stepped on a bar, if they have at least one imported beer, it's either Hoegaarden or like Stella or something like that. The reason why this is significant to me is because it's like probably one of the first times that I had a beer outside of like the regular like light pale ales like Budweiser and other Budweiser like things, where I had something completely different, and I thought, well, actually, maybe beer doesn't taste that bad. That was a very long time ago, and actually, it was my significant other that introduced me to just this thing. And then, of course, I kind of just took that and ran with it. I started tasting a lot of different beers, and here I am. And here I decided to make a gaming stream that talks about beer. So yeah, you know, nothing more to say other than Hoegaarden is a refreshing drink. It's made of wheat. Let's see if Untapped has anything more to say about the matter before we actually move on. So Hoegaarden Wit Blanche, it's a Belgian beer, decent 4.9% alcohol by volume, so something not too hard to hit us with at the beginning. 500 years of hard work went into making this beer that features the aroma of orange peel, coriander, and herbs that the merry monks imported from sunny Curacao. Speaking of which, pouring Hoegaarden is just like letting the sun fall into your glass. Light yellow and naturally murky, and the soft foam adds a cloudy finish. And then there's a soft taste, light and slightly sweet, and sour with subtle citrus notes. Go ahead and taste it instead of reading about it. That seems like a solid piece of advice. One thing that I just realized is just the fact that I don't have a beer glass, so I'm going to go get it right now. Stay tuned, this is very unusual. I rarely forget these things, but I will be right. I'm not even going to go into intermission. I'm just literally gonna go up and get it. See you in 30 seconds or so. Alright, and we're back. The funny thing about going into a different room in the total darkness is that everything takes about 4 times as long. I decided to go with a normal stein. So let's go ahead and open this guy. Like I said, it's something that I've tried. It does have notes of citrus and coriander like the box says. Wheat beers come in 2 major varieties. The Belgian style, which leans more towards the citrus taste, versus the German variety, which has a slightly more banana-like flavor, like nice banana bread. And I don't know that I like one over the other. Maybe the German one slightly more, but I do love just the spices from Belgian beers. So relatively cloudy, as you can expect from wheat beer. These are generally not filtered. A very strong smell of oranges on it. Bang a nail reviewer. And so very refreshing. It's almost like a nice cool hard lemonade, if you can consider that, with some breadiness of course from the beer. There's no bitterness to speak of in terms of the hops or anything like that. It's actually just pleasant. So something that I quite enjoy. Oh, and welcome Zieg. I appreciate the raid. This has never happened, so thank you very much. This is a first for the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. Welcome raiders. I am Ale Wolf, otherwise known as Ales. Some people call me Mama Ales Baby Boy, but I am the excellence of in execution. And I was just talking about Hoegaarden beer. So hopefully you stick around, but if not, if this is not your bag, then feel free to, let's say we shall toast to your health regardless. But yes, I recommend Hoegaarden. Let me go ahead and update my ticker, and then we'll get started with Donkey Kong Country 2. And let's see. Bang a nail, Zieg. I did step into your stream a bit while ago. You guys were doing some hardcore raiding there, very impressive stuff, but again, half the time it is very difficult for me to follow what's going on. You guys are training like a sports team every time I go in there. And I think that does it. Alright, let's get moving. So the objective of this particular campaign for Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest is simply to get 102%, which is something that I've never actually achieved before in my life, and I've played this game several times before. Of course, I am not a great player, so I am using a lot of suspend points slash save states. So bear with me. I'm trying to get all the creme coins. I am using a wiki to try to find all of the creme coins and bonus coins to see what that's like. So I think I've got 3 worlds remaining. Let's go ahead and tune in. Sorry about that. The raid just came out yesterday, so we're in deep learning phase. Oh no, don't feel like you need to apologize. I love to simply pop in and see what you guys are up to, even though, you know, half the time I don't actually get it. But like I said, you guys are really like a well-oiled machine, and it's very cool to see you guys just like train up to this stuff. But in the future, I'll do my best to explain. Yeah, like I said, you don't need to waste your breath on a novice like myself. But with that, let's get on to Diddy's Conquest. And let me tune in and I think I need to activate a save state here. Now, if I knew how to activate save states, here we go. So, like I said, it's been slightly over a month since I actually played this, so I don't remember what I was doing, but I'm going to follow my notes, and they suggest to me that I am in the middle of a bonus stage, and this seems to be the clearest one here. Find a token. Oh, great, it's one of these. Okay, well, this is gonna take a while. So we have to go around the bramble stage without hitting any of the sides. This is like the game of Operation. Of course, gotta avoid the bees as well. You gotta avoid the bees. And one of the things that I don't quite care for when it comes to using the Nintendo Switch Pro controller is just the fact that the control pad is a bit butt. It's not necessarily my cup of tea. I feel like particularly the up command is always a little whimsical. But you gotta do with what you have, I guess. Alright, this is not gonna happen, is it? Gosh darn it. Alright, maybe we have to be a bit more adventurous here. And if I remember correctly, now it's starting to come back to me. This is actually the bonus stage from one of the Lost World stages. Maybe I need to use a control stick, it's a little more responsive. And beautiful satisfaction. Hey, it actually happened, imagine that. And you know what, to make sure that I never have to do that again. Let's go ahead and save right here. Well played. No. I think simply the liquid courage is starting to kick in. And sometimes that's all it takes. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, as they said. I'm trying to remember, I think this is the only way to get one of these coins, but let me just check. I don't even remember what stage I'm in. That's kind of part of the problem here. But actually, Zeke, while I have you here, see, you started talking exactly about what I wanted to talk to you about. Are you ready for Street Fighter 6? I am itching to get started with that. Carol's Keep, Flying Croc, Lost World. Okay, I think we're in Fiery Furnace, because I know that this is part of the Lost World. The Lost World Jurassic Park, of course. So collectibles, bonus levels, video game hero coin. So I think if we have the hero coin, that should be sufficient. I don't think there's any actual creme coins in Lost Level Worlds. Speaking of which, excited for SF6. Oh, so I guess we were thinking about the same exact thing. Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'll probably try and stream it for my Friday blocks for at least the next month. I can't imagine that I'll do that well. And I didn't even play the demo, so I am at a disadvantage. But so it goes. I'll try to find some time to mess around with characters over the weekend. Maybe we can get some rounds in. Yeah, that would be fun. You would be appalled by my skill levels. If I remember correctly, you're a Ken player, or at least you used to be at some point. Okay, so did we get everything? Alright, so Fiery Furnace went from Fiery Furnace to Fiery Furnace, which means that we have everything that we need here with the DK Hero Coin. So I think we can actually go back. Just defaulting to Ken at the start. No, that's awesome. He's a solid pick. I'm certainly glad that they decided to work on his hair for this iteration. Soft jab for banana hair Ken. Wow, you're living rent-free in my head tonight. Haha. Yeah, maybe a little bit of that. I think we're a little bit in tune when it comes to fighting games, or at least Street Fighter. Okay, so we're gonna return to Gloomy Gulch, and I think we've completed all of the coins. So Webwoods, as you might recall, we're trying to make sure that every single level has both an exclamation mark and a DK Hero Coin, because that's the only way to get the 102%. So Webwoods has it. Parachute Panic, Gusty Glade, Haunted Hall, and Ghostly Grove. So I secretly adored Banana Ken. I mean, I was just poking fun at it. It was still a solid character design, but I was kind of just bandwagoning there. His design overall was rad. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm kind of enjoying his new design, though. I think he has like a bit more of a jacket. He seems a little more how to say this? I simply seem to think that the style that they have him in this game seems a little bit more his character, and I don't know how to explain that better than that, or at least without stopping and composing a good thought. I certainly like his look more than Ryu's look, which is one of my mains. I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit too critical here, but I did think that they made Ryu look a little too much like his master Gouken, which I guess makes sense. But I don't know, I wasn't looking for Ryu to dress that way. I'm sure he plays solid though. Sad divorce Ken. Oh really? I had no idea. See, I haven't caught up with any of the lore changes in Street Fighter 6. Okay, so Gloomy Gulch has both the exclamation mark and the DK coin. We're gonna move on to Kruel's Keep, or K. Rool's Keep. And so this one's going to be a slobber knocker, as they say. Not only do I generally have lots of difficulty finishing levels in K. Rool's Keep, but it is also just the fact that we're trying to get 100% here, so it's not gonna be pretty. Get ready for the rest of the stream to be pain. Yeah, it's a neat look. He is quite wide in this game. That's a good way to describe it. No clue if something happened to him. Haha, just the internet speculating. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they change things. Alright, so our first level is Arctic Abyss. So let me go ahead and reference this wiki that I'm working with, which is actually the Mario wiki, which is a little odd to be looking for the Donkey Kong Country tips on a Mario wiki. But beggars can't be choosers. But I am looking forward to playing with Yuri. I feel like, you know, I've never been one for, how to say, characters that focus mostly on their legs. If anything, I generally go for boxers. But I did find a good happy point with her, starting with Street Fighter 4 and then moving on to 5. Okay, so in terms of the hero coin, it's a little while after the star barrel, and guard will have to begin traveling east. Water will decrease here, so you must use a special ability to shoot at fast speed. Okay, well, we already have the DK hero coin, so why am I even reading that? And then we have 2 bonus levels. One is collect the stars after the water rises a little and on guard sees the first lockjaw on the level, he should swim upwards. A wall with 2 bananas next to it. And then the next one is once on guard passes the last 2 puff ups. Okay, so let's give this a shot. I guess both of these rely on having on guard, or at least serves as a marker of sorts. Agreed regarding boxers. Bring Dudney back or Riot. They call me, okay, and Inigo says they call me Mr. Beast and it's not because of my money. That's I'm failing to know where that one's coming from. But yeah, I used to play a little bit with Balrog, but I don't know, I feel like his playstyle became a bit chunkier with later games. Actually, maybe we can actually climb here. Okay, so some coins and some bananas, nothing too exciting here. You know, one of the things that I often found quite funny about Dudley is his lore in Street Fighter 3. The reason why he's fighting is because the boss of that game stole his car, and that is his reason. And I thought, well, if you need a reason to fight, that's probably a good enough reason, speaking in real world terms. That one was quite quick. Okay, so this is on guard. I think for the rest of the level we get to play as on guard. Okay. And so we need to see the first lockjaw of the level. If you don't have a car, you literally have to interface with the street. No, and we don't want to interface with the street. Ooh, secret spot. One of the things that I've always enjoyed about water levels in the Donkey Kong Country series is the fact that a lot of the hidden areas are just behind walls that are not actually walls. And while that might be detrimental in a lot of games, I do feel like in this particular series they do suggest a certain level of I don't know, kind of just like curiosity for things that you can do, or it almost feels like a victory every time you do one of them. And this is our first collect the stars bonus stage. Okay, so oh great, the water's well, I already lost, didn't I? God darn it. I wonder if it'll rise again. Probably not, given the amount of time that was left. Wait, it still gave it to me? Oh, well that works. I like those odds. Okay, and then the next one, once in guard passes the last 2 puff tubs in the level. I think those are the puffer fish. He will go through the wall and cross a no animal size which will turn him back into the Kongs. Then they must enter the entryway farther on and enter the bonus level. Okay, so it's after we finish the level. Whoa. Probably speaks of their game design. If they feel natural to find, it rewards your curiosity. Yeah, and it's not like poking around in walls here is very difficult in the sense that generally the water levels are relatively, uh, they're not very big enclosures, and I feel like going around the walls is not an actual like waste of time. If it was like a huge open world, it might be like a different thing, but at least in water areas, it always felt slightly natural, as opposed to being frustrating to find it if they don't make sense. Yeah, very, very much agreed. Oh no, fish out of water. We love those movies. Every time I hear these stars just like mucking about in the background, I'm often wondering where they're gonna pop up from. Alright, the middle barrel, the midway point, the mid-size SUV. Speaking of fighting, Street Fighter 6, I just happened to be watching a video on charged characters and how they're largely misunderstood. I've never been a charged character fan myself, but I have found some good interest in the last few years while playing them. I think for the longest time I felt like it was kind of silly to like hold back a button and then try to get a particular special move in. Oh, and there's a special hero coin. Gosh darn it. But I think the playing with finesse for charged characters, it is more about finding times where you're not actually just sitting back and charging. It's about finding spots to charge where people don't expect you to be charging, which is something in itself that I can't necessarily wrap my head around most times, but it is interesting when I do find those spots. And a couple of King of Fighter characters play that way, which is something that I've been playing recently. Now, I don't think I'll be making any of them my mains or anything like that, but it has certainly opened up certain avenues. Trying to be as aggressive as possible so that these things don't simply backstab me. It's kind of hard to suggest that something's gonna backstab me when it is primarily only my enemy. Oh, wonderful. I should have seen that coming. So actually maybe that was for the best, since it seems like I had already collected the second bonus room. As you can see, I've already got the exclamation mark, and Arctic Abyss became Arctic Abyss! So there's that. No need to go back in there. The next level should be Windy Well, and I have not gathered the hero coin or all the creme coins in this stage. I also don't remember liking Windy Well because it is a stage that I think just makes you rely on the wind just randomly going up or down or left or right. I think I remember my first negative experience with windy levels in the lost levels of Super Mario Brothers. If anybody remembers that old gem, where there were stages where you had to depend on the wind throwing you in certain directions to go across certain gaps, and it was very imprecise. Oh, hey, sorry, I guess the Streamlines decided to refrain you from sending a long message. Let me see if I can actually undo that. Click to reply. Sorry about that. I can't imagine that it was a very long. I think I set the limit to like incredibly long. Sorry, that's hilarious. Sorry, yeah. Let me see if I can change that on the fly. Actually, give me just 1 second. And this is also a first for the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I decided to activate the cloud bot because I felt like that was something good. Let's see. Caps protection, symbol protection. Here we go. 140 characters. How does anybody get a word in? Let's set it to 1,000. Alright. False positive, I guess. Alright. Yeah, so I can't imagine that you're going to necessarily type out everything that you typed out, but I apologize for that. I think it was just a preset from activating the cloud bot. But feel free to repeat yourself or let it go. So Windy Well, 29th level of this game. In terms of bonus areas, we've got 2 of them. Destroy them all after collecting the letter O. Pass a crook, and one of them has a bonus barrel. And then the second one is at the very end, where the Kongs can find a cutlass and a clobber below the end of level target, and ram it into the cutlass for the bonus barrel. Okay, so those are the 2 stages. In terms of the hero coin, it's after the letter N, Kongs must pass 2 crooks to float up a platform, 3 bananas above them, which would normally follow up the next platform. Instead of following the bananas, the Kongs must jump all the way right for the wind to carry them past 3 zingers. Okay, so it's after the letter N somewhere. Let's jump in and see what that's like. And of course, a classic sign that there is wind in this level. You have random leaves accompanying you everywhere. Well, that was interesting. I didn't expect that to happen. Or maybe I did. Okay, so I think this is the first taste of wind. And I really hate dealing with these guys. It's a little difficult to detect where the safe hitbox is. Okay. And so I guess you just simply have to trust that the wind is actually going to pick you up. This stage also happens to showcase probably my second favorite song from Donkey Kong Country 2. It's very reflective, I find. Okay, so we have to wait for the dip. Gosh darn it, okay. I think we're in the clear. Alright. We can't simply just go down. No, I guess not. Okay. And so, like I said, we're still waiting for either the letter O or the letter N here. Oh, and here's Speak of the Devil. That's no good. Probably should start using save points right before that. I think that makes some sense. Okay, and here's the start of our flight. Flights are always good. They're like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. Wow, and these guys are quick to raise their swords again. Okay, right, and this is where we wait for the dip. Okay, that wasn't too hard. Okay, so maybe as soon as we see that letter O, we'll create a suspend point. And I think it's just coming up, so I might as well just do that right now. 5:31. Well, it's actually been over a month since last time I played this. Alright, so let's see over here. Just a second here, folks. Okay. I don't think we need to do that. Okay, so if there's a letter O, we're coming about the crooks. I am not a crook. Wait a second. So I think it should be nearby. Sounds like something a crook would say. Yeah, that is exactly what they want you to think. What is even happening here? Okay, so there's... I am losing control of my life here. Okay. I am not going the right way, am I? Gosh darn it. Oh, huh. Alright, let's go back to that suspend point. I feel like I'm missing something here. Go left to reach a pair of platforms. Bottom one having the bonus barrel. Okay, maybe I was, which I can confirm or deny that statement. Never played this game. Well, I appreciate the support, Rio de Lobos. Alright, so let's go left. What just happened? Darkness fills my heart with pain. Alright, so it seems like we need to go left. What it... Okay, so there's the barrel that we need to... I got a feeling about this, guys. And voila. I like watching you play this game. It's aesthetically relaxing and makes you stress out. Fun both ways. Well, you simply have to have that balance of things, I think. Glad that you are enjoying the stream, Inigo. We're going to assure our permanence. You gotta have bouncing in a platform. Wait a second, I already had it. What's the point of that? We call it challenging. No, absolutely. I don't know why I do these things. Okay. So, getting past these bees. Every time I think about bees, I think about that movie with Nicolas Cage. Or at least I think of that clip of Nicolas Cage where he's getting attacked by bees. I think the only way to actually get past them is to dip under them. But I feel like I failed last time. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna run. Gosh darn it, these things. Okay. Okay, this is no good. Alright, but this is solid. Okay, same actually. I haven't even seen that movie. Yeah, I think I saw parts of it. I've never actually completed it. But yeah, bees. Why did it have to be bees? No, yeah, I feel like there's some references to movies that I've seen so many times that it almost feels like I've seen said movie several times. Playing it safe by using our friend to attack our enemies. Okay, so after collecting, that's the letter O. So that's a creme coin. And then after the letter N is where we start struggling to find the video game hero coin. Wicker Man. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is Wicker Man, which I think was a remake of like a very old Wicker Man movie, or at least that's what I heard in some movie podcast. Also, have I seen the Mario movie? You know, I've actually seen half of it. I guess now that I say that, I think it becomes evident how I've seen it. Let's just say that one of my siblings is very crafty. But it is very enjoyable. I'll say that. I love the references to different Mario aspects. But the movie moves very quickly. And you know what? Let me not spoil anything or anything like that. I will probably watch the second half at some point at the end of the week. But I've been having a good time. It seems fun. Anyone who beat these games back then is legit. I would think they'd be excellent gamers overall, but that would be wrong. I think it's interesting when you think about the type of the times that actually more or less force you to get good at these games. Back when you couldn't necessarily afford all the games in the world like you can now. Well, let me qualify that statement. When you can probably afford more games for the price of one, and so they had to artificially make these games challenging to make sure that they lasted long, or at least that was the rationale. I'm sure that not every single creator thought about it that way. But yeah, you actually have to do well with these games in order to actually move forward with them. And I'm just hanging out here trying to look for the perfect timing that never happens. I might as well just cheese it and eat it since I have two characters. Whoa, what was that about? I guess miracles do happen. Like Lizzie McGuire once said, this is what dreams are made of. Apologies, in I go. Like I suggested earlier, I have been trying to use a few more moderator tools since I never used them before. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm trying to not necessarily stop anyone from expressing themselves, just cutting a bit back on the saltiness sometimes. Yeah, I don't, and I kind of just said like the auto settings there. I probably should actually tweak them myself. So apologies for the inconvenience. Okay, so this is the letter N. I have to pass 2 crooks and float up onto a platform. 3 bananas. Instead of following the bananas, must jump all the way to the right. Okay. All right. Okay. Don't tell me that I have to... Okay. Okay. Always drink water, folks. As Kitana once said, it is the element which gives life. Okay, don't. Okay, so we passed the 2 crooks, and there will be 3 bananas, and we should not follow them. We should instead go all the way to the right for the wind to carry them past 3 zingers. Okay, I think I see the objective here. Before I do that, of course, our safety net. And hey, we made it to June. Let's pop the champagne, everyone. Wow. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. And I think our last creme coin is all the way at the end of the stage. It's a cutlass and a clobber below the end of level targets, and we have to pick up the clobber and ram it into the cutlass to cross into the bonus barrel. Okay. How long is the stream? I'll probably go until 2 in the morning. That is unless I start feeling the effects of world weariness or alcohol, whichever comes first. One of them solves the other, though. Nice, so we just had to take a dip there. Oh, maybe not. Why did I just walk into them? Okay. Seriously, folks? Okay, I felt that I had already earned that. Oh, and we didn't actually get the hero coin yet. Which is fine, simple enough. Okay, so this is the place where we start going through the bobbing and weaving through the whoa bees. Okay, run. That didn't serve any purpose. Alright. You know, I happened to be chatting with a fellow streamer earlier today, and they were explaining to me how it was challenging to stay up, let alone stay up for the times that I stream, and it kind of just made me think about the reasons why I stream at this time, and they're not necessarily because this is you know the best way to do it. I'm definitely missing a lot of different time zones because I stream at this hour, but it is just the fact that if I didn't stream at this hour of the day, I wouldn't actually get to do it. Such is life, folks. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice a little to enjoy yourself, and I don't recommend it to anyone, by the way. I'm sure that someday I'll be tired enough that I can't do it anymore. This is ridiculous. Why does life hate me? Okay. Whoa, hey. Directly jumped into... Yeah, I'm not gonna jump anymore. I feel like I'm just gonna go directly into another wind section. I'll have to do early morning streams. And to be perfectly honest, if I had the opportunity to do early morning streams, I would, because that's when I'm most aware. In fact, there was one, like a couple of months ago, I was trying to follow up on a run of Hades that I had started on stream. And it, like, you know, I don't know if you have caught any of my... I think you may have caught one of my Hades streams. I am pretty terrible at them. And, why did I do that? Wonderful. But I was finishing a run, like, in the daytime without streaming. And it was like night and day in terms of my performance. So yeah, definitely more awake, more energetic in the beginning of the day. So if I had the choice, I would probably do it then. Well, did I just back myself all the... Okay. That was bad. 626, 634. Alright, I think this is the last one. Yeah. Made some good progress there, folks, and then completely wasted. But not actually wasted. Okay. So, let's try to see how many bees we can avoid this time. Come on. Okay. Okay, and this is the part where I'm supposed to skip over the bees at every dip. And always remember, never double dip your chip. Okay. Not bad, but not great. I'm assuming your stream is now kid-friendly. Well, you tell me. The constant talking of alcohol, I think it's a bit more... I can't imagine that anybody would think this material is healthy for children. Look at this nonsense. Alright, maybe I need to do suspend points a bit closer. But like I said, I gotta go in and tweak those mod settings. Yeah, I should do that. If only I had the time. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. Alright, so let's create a suspend point right here. I forgot you did that. Yeah, you know, it's kind of... I gotta tell you, it's kind of funny sometimes. The sense that I feel like at least the channels, the Twitch channels that I get recommended, never have anything to do with beer. And maybe that's just something that doesn't happen necessarily on just Twitch. I feel like the few times that people talk about drinking alcohol, it's like, oh, here's a special stream, I am drinking a glass of wine or something. So at least in terms of just randomly talking about drinks, I think I've got the mark. What is it? What's the turn of phrase there? I've got the market cornered. What market? Okay, not pretty, not beautiful. But that's okay. We are creatures of the night, never to be seen under the light. Alright. Wow. Okay, this is not gonna happen, is it? I didn't even know you could get squawks in this. Okay. That's also no good. So I think we might be close to the finish here. Oh, wonderful. I needed that guy. Let me try to see if I can make him appear again. Yep. Ha! Okay, so create a suspend point right here. Nice, and the final bonus stage for this stage. That's too many stages. Huh, and there's squawks. How can you get all of these stars? Okay, that's wild. Wow, okay. Record-breaking time. Okay, now I'm afraid that that thing is gonna randomly kill me. Not to worry. A Nails and Fails classic, and it only took us like, what, 30 minutes? Was anybody counting there? Okay, so Windy Well is now completed. Okay, moving on to Castle Crush. And I believe this is the stage where the floor keeps rising up. So there's lots of opportunities where if you stay in the wrong corner of the stage, you'll simply get crushed by the stage moving up. Also, not one of my favorites. And to your health. Okay, so let me see what Castle Crush has in store for us. Given that it already has the exclamation mark, it means that we've already collected everything from the bonus stages that lead you to a Creme coin, but we still need the hero coin. And everybody wants to be a hero. So after the Kong transforms into Squawks, he must fly upward past some crooks and zingers. After passing these enemies, Squawks must go right and then flap down below into a passage. And that's where the video game hero coin is located. So let's see if we actually have some good luck here. I guess the first thing here is that we have to actually make it to Squawks. And like I said, this is one of the more challenging areas of this game. Oh, and Rambi's here. Always happy to wrap myself up with armor plating. Such is the way of the paladin. KK. And I think, yeah, these are definitely things that we can't simply ram through. Okay. It's interesting that it decided to give us additional time. Maybe there was a breakable bonus area there, and it seems like that's what that was. Okay, so we're still moving up. Oh, wow. That was dirty. Whoa. Okay, and I think the floor is still coming. Of course it's coming. Hi. That was I feel like I went through a lot of the stage. Maybe I need to... Maybe next time I give up on Rambi, maybe I should create a suspend point there. And I guess that's one thing we don't have to worry about too much thus far. Simply the fact that we've got enough bananas to get lives. Wow, I barely turned around on it. Okay, so here's the ultimate challenge. Not too shabby. Here we go. And of course we've already collected this one, so no need to actually stress ourselves out by completing it. So check mark there to confirm our success. Okay. So create a suspend point right here. Okay, and then upcoming here, oh, hey, is the area with the three porcupines, or four actually, and the star barrel. Alright, this might be, of course it was challenging. Wait, actually we need to start from the star barrel, so no actual need for suspend point. Though I suppose that if lives become an issue, it might make more sense to do so. Wow, I just ate that. I think I simply have to be a bit more patient with that particular pass. Ah, and oh, Squawks was here? Really? That is no good. That means that I missed him. Unless somehow he happens to be after. Which wouldn't make sense. I think I just need to take the hit. And try to see if I can find Squawks. And we'll just go ahead and create the suspend point. Nice. Nicely done. Okay, so he wasn't there. Okay. Wait a second. And that certainly didn't work out. Where was Squawks? Okay, this is... Okay, I guess I gotta go look for where this squawks is located. Star barrel, hero travels upward, they can find an area that contains a DK barrel, a zinger, and an alcove with some bananas. If they run through the wall to the left of here, they can find it. Okay, so an alcove with some bananas, and they run through the wall to the left of here. Which means that in order to get the squawks, I need to go through an invisible wall of some sort. Whoa, hey. I deserved that. That one caught me off guard. That one almost got me too. Wait a second. What is that? Do I need a barrel there or something? It's also not here. I am a little bit at a loss. Let me try and reread that. Maybe I missed something. Let's see. It seems like it should be very close to the DK barrel, at least according to the wording here. Let's try this again. There it is. Sadly, I'm starting to get very tired, Ales, so I'm gonna head off. Hey, no worries. Thank you very much for joining the stream today, Rio de Lobos. Hopefully you pop in again sometime. And always, how to say this? Thank you very much for the likes on Twitter. You certainly have some fun original comments yourself, so very, very, very happy to follow you as well. But until another time, I'm glad that you found that relaxing. Again, thank you very much for the company. There you go. And then, great. I was about to say that the nice thing about having squawks is we can actually repel those crooks. Now that is annoying. And so now that we know where the squawks is, in order to find the hero coin, fly upward and pass some crooks and zingers. After passing these enemy squawks, might go to the right and then flap down below into the passage. Okay, let me see if I can find a right entrance somewhere. No, definitely not here. So it says after some zingers, which I'm assuming is this area. Hey, there you go. and of course there's our bonus entrance. I think at this point we have locked in getting the hero coin, but let's see how far we can get. And I think this is some simple, nice elevator action, which I believe is the name of a game. And that was our second coin. Okay, I think we're going to finish up with this stage and then we'll take a quick break. A quick bio break, as they say. Okay, well, let's see if it registered. And there we go, Castle Crush became Castle Crush with a DK coin on the side. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, folks. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go pick something else to drink. We can talk about it, and then we'll continue with Donkey Kong Country 2. So see you on the other side. And of course, there it goes. welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Alewolf, otherwise known as Ales, gentleman streamer, the excellence of in execution, and let's go for tonight as brewmaster of the Shield Lycan. Tonight we're playing some Donkey Kong Country 2, so this is kind of the second half right here. We're trying to complete that coveted 102%, and we are being very generous with our suspend points. But before we jump into the action, let's go ahead and see what's on tap tonight, which will probably be the last drink for the night. This one is a porter, such name porter, and it is from our friends at Founders, which is an American brewery if I recall correctly. And so it is a healthy 6.5%. Now, what exactly is a porter? Well, a porter, if I recall things correctly, is a type of beer that was very popular with people who worked at ports somewhere in England. And the way that it is an ale, it is not a lager. And the thing that sets us apart, the main thing that actually sets us apart, is the fact that you use darker malts in order to actually brew it. Specifically, I think it uses... Well, I don't know that there's a particular... I think it simply uses brown malt. And of course, brown malt can be made a number of several ways, but I think the most popular way to do it is to take pale malts and then kind of toast them. And that's how you get the brown malt. And of course, that's what you see when you pour a porter. It's a darker beer. Now, the main difference between porters and stouts sometimes has to do with the level of roast, sometimes has to do with the concentration of grains. Some people say that the main difference between porters and stouts is the fact that you actually have to roast the malts from a porter to create a stout. I don't know that there's a particular cutoff there, but I do feel the notion that when I'm drinking a porter versus a stout, I know what it is. It's a sort of thing where I know it if I see it, sort of thing. Let's go ahead and see what Untapped has to say on this particular beer before we move on. Untapped being the king of description. Not really. So, porter, very aptly named a porter. Pours black with a tan head. Sweet nose with chocolate and caramel malt presence. No absence of hops. Cozy like velvet. A lover, not a fighter. So very poetic as usual. Let's go ahead and taste this guy. And it seems like I've never actually had this one on stream. As you guys know, I definitely like to finish my streams with a stronger drink. And 6.5% is not, the strongest thing that I've had in my life. But you know what it is? It is, I want to say anything above 6% is probably high-ish. Ales, where my story is too much for the stream, I'll refrain if it made you uneasy. Today's story, I don't know that you necessarily went into a story today. What do you mean, Inigo? While we're doing that, let's go ahead and open this guy. See what's up. And here's my trusty bottle opener. And let's go ahead and pour this guy. As you might recall, I try not to talk too much while pouring these guys. There has been one too many times where I'm pouring these things and it all spills over, or I get a giant head of foam, which is a little challenging sometimes. Okay. And as you can see, it is not completely opaque. It's certainly brown in color. You can't hardly see through it, but if you hold it against the light, you actually can. It does have a very sweet nose, almost creamy. Maybe even some milk nose there. Fang a nail here. Some good level of roast, though not too heavy. I want to say it reads more like chocolate rather than coffee. And again, just a very prevalent milky flavor there. I wouldn't say that it is like velvet. It is not. Whenever I think of like a flavor like velvet, it is actually very smooth. This one actually feels just a bit grainy. In terms of body though, it's actually quite light. I want to say maybe like a 1.5 or like a 2. out of 5 in terms of thickness. You can't actually read the alcohol, and I do want to say that for a stout that I generally read as sweet, it does have some good level of hops, some slight bitterness, but nothing too overwhelming. So I like this. This is quite enjoyable. If you see it out in the wild, I recommend you have it. Porter from Founders. Enjoy. Okay, and with that, let me go ahead and update my ticker here. I do want to say though, it is unfortunate that this is simply called porter. Maybe I should start including the maker of the beer. I think it might make a bit more sense. If somebody pops in on stream and they're like, "Hey, wait a second, what is this handsome devil drinking?" And they're like, "Porter." Why, it could be anything in the world. Maybe they need to see who actually made it. Also, nobody actually thinks that, by the way. Okay, and I think we are good. And let's go ahead and rate this on Untappd. No need to put a complex explanation here. A simple rating will suffice. I want to give it a 3.5. All I ever wanted were your sweet nothings. Okay, so let's go back to the game, folks. And so, like I said, the goal of this campaign was to get every single creme coin and every single hero coin. I think we're well on our way. We're certainly more than halfway there. But it is going to be a challenge because all that remains is this last stage, Castle Crush. Then of course probably Screech's Sprint. I don't know if that one actually has any creme coins. And then there's the Lost World levels, which are actually quite hectic in their own right. So moving on to Clapper's Cavern, which is one of the stages that has yours and mine's favorite seal. And like I suggested earlier, I am looking up information from the Super Mario Wiki in order to find where these things are located. For Clapper's Cavern, it seems like I actually haven't completed the goal of getting all of the creme coins and all of the DK coins. And it seems like there's 2 find the tokens at the very start of the level. We have to use the team up to reach the hidden hook. And then the second one, when the Kongs open the on guard box, they must ride him and pass the 3 flotsams and 3 shuris. Continue swimming up, taking the left, past 2 inflated puff tubs. At the end of the path is a deflated puff tub and a lone banana. And that's where we use our supercharge. In terms of the hero coin, after passing the letter K, Kongs must stand on the following platform with a cruncher and use a team up at an opening above them. Okay, so that seems just, it seems trouble enough for us. Let's give it a whirl, shall we? Okay, so there's the hook. There's the hook to our story. The story of my life. Okay, and this one seems to be a simple find the token. Oh, I see. Nice. Okay, and so here's the letter K. There's a random B there. You know what, we'll create a suspend point just for good measure. For some reason I was waiting for the wind to pick me up. That doesn't make sense. Oh ha. Of course. Well, there you go. That's you ask and you shall receive. It was right here. Jeez, that was easy. Alright, so then the final item that we have to collect is the second creme coin, which is past the unguarded box. We have to find the deflated puffed up and a lone banana. Is there no way to actually continue past this point? No, it doesn't seem like it. I did the same exact mistake that I did last time. Oh, great. Wait, actually, let me see if those registered. Okay, so it's done. I guess whatever the second bonus stage was, I collected it in my previous run. So sometimes it pays not to load that suspend point, folks. Chain link chamber. So we create one right here. And I think the effects of our actions are starting to settle. Strap in, everyone. So chain link chamber is a place where you have a lot of chains. What's down here? And you know, one thing that I didn't even check is actually what am I looking for here? Very nice. Chain link chamber is actually the penultimate level in this stage, which means that Toxic Tower is next, which is probably one of the second world that I hate the most. So chain link chamber. Okay. So find the creme coin. It seems like there's two of them right here. Near the beginning of the level, Kongs encounter 3 crooks. They must continue climbing up to the 3rd crook and defeat him. They must continue left into an alcove with a yellow clobber guarding a cannonball. Okay, so it's a pick up a particular cannonball. The next one, after passing the 2 cannons, they must continue right until they reach a vertical chain. Jump up from the chain through a secret passage on the wall to the left. So somehow we're going to find 2 cannons and we're going to attempt to actually go at them through a secret passage. So cannonball and the crooks. And in terms of the hero coin, shortly after the star barrel, Kongs must climb up a pair of 2 ropes with 2 cannons firing down at them from above. While climbing on a rope, Kongs must notice a lone banana and directly to the right on the wall and go to the video game hero coin. So let's go and see if we can find any of this stuff. And of course, just our luck, we happen to go directly into... Oh, hey. We gotta be careful with that guy because he actually steals your lives. Okay, and there we go. I don't know that that was worth it, but maybe it was worth it. And right now the thing that we're looking for is the 3 crooks or something like that. Okay, so there's 1 crook. And it seems like there's a passage right behind him, so maybe I'll... Ha! Oh, come now. Seriously, this is ridiculous, by the way. There goes all my lives. Wow. What a waste. Okay, that was a total failure, by the way. So once again, chain link chamber. Talk about pitiful. But that is, I guess, right on point for the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. We're simply delivering the product that we advertised. So nothing too crazy here. Okay, good. And I think this is when we encounter the crooks. And this is number 3. And there's that cannon. Nice. And actually, I think I feel more comfortable using DD to carry it. Nice. Wow. That health is never picking back up, is it? At some point. Okay. Was it simply reach the end? Maybe I should have read that. I wonder, can we actually go back in? Yeah. Here we go. So one more time, like Daft Punk once said. Nice. So good enough to mark our milestone. The next one, the hero coin at least, is after the star barrel. But then we have to find 2 cannons and we have to somehow make our way around them. So kind of like a pincer attack against the cannons. Not a big fan of the Rotata barrel, but then I also don't like bees. Pick the lesser of 2 evils, I guess. Whoa. I thought it was gonna just shoot me right into that next barrel. And somehow it skipped that rope. Okay. We'll take it. The perfect time that never comes. And there's a letter O. We don't actually need it, but I'll take it anyways. Okay, and this is like a Tetris of bees. Success. And there's a couple of bananas on this direction. And here's our star barrel. So, let's see. What did it say about that star barrel? 2 cannons firing from up above. And there must be a lone banana somewhere. And there's a DK barrel. So nothing too shabby. Please fall to your doom. And so, of course, every banana counts. No bananas left behind. I'm not gonna take a dip there. Seems a bit haphazard. How did I not see that guy? Okay. Our beverages, they dull the senses. Okay, and clearly we need to go down here. And so we can certainly create a suspend point right here. Okay, beautiful. A couple of false starts. I am really interested in seeing if there's anything behind either of these guys. There's probably nothing, and I'm probably gonna regret this, but it is on brand. There's nothing, of course. But what about over there? There's also nothing. And of course there's the bees that actually killed us. Well, here is where we encounter those neckies, or rather mini neckies. It seems like that one is inactive, which is a bit weird. I think it bugged out. I am at a miss in terms of, I feel like we've missed the hero coin, because it said shortly after the star barrel. Gosh darn it. Okay, let's reload that. And maybe I took a wrong route somewhere. So obviously there's nothing behind these cutlasses. Wow. That guy's crazy. Gosh darn it. Did the monsters just like duplicate? This is... Okay, I don't even know what's happening anymore. Let's reload that. And there we go. Just a bit more. Okay, so like I said, we're supposed to be looking for some cannons shooting at us. Two ropes with cannons flying above them. Okay, maybe we simply haven't reached them. And once again, I missed the neck keys. Ooh. Okay, so maybe when we reach this particular area, what we need to do is actually create another suspend point. No need in retreading old ground. And run. Wow. Run past one, run past two. Okay, so nothing horribly stolen. Okay, and then here's with... So as I was saying earlier before the bot censored me. Excuse me. This road is not long for the duration. There's a better turn of phrase for that. Did the developers or playtesters beat these levels themselves, or did they just leave it up to the math and programming and said it would work? Well, I can't say that I have insight into what the developers were thinking when creating this game. I think that I have seen people who have done speed runs through these games, and there are very efficient ways of beating them, as long as you know where the patterns are. I can't imagine that the developer simply design, oh, here's X level and there you go, we're not gonna beat it ourselves, have fun guys, sort of thing. Though I'm sure very early on there was things going on like that. But you are not incorrect in thinking that I don't know that a lot of these games, like if you were to actually release this sort of game nowadays, I'm sure people would enjoy it, but it wouldn't necessarily have the high acclaim that it had back in the day. Simply because I feel like people are very much vested in the time that they have, and it doesn't make sense for them to constantly fail at something and for them to feel compelled to continue playing it, if you know what I mean. And you know, I don't think I did the thing that I was supposed to do. 132. Yeah, that's true. Like, I feel like these days, and this might be my age simply talking, but I do feel like for the things that you put in time, no matter how small it might be, you want to feel like you're actually progressing and you're getting better at things, and you have to have some sort of a feeling of accomplishment. And if that's not met, then why are you doing the thing? And I feel like I could speak to it simply because I've lived through both of these rationales. But I don't know, what do you think? Maybe one thing that I know that you played, you know, the No More Heroes series, but I don't know that you've ever talked about the types of games that you necessarily like. And I apologize for never having asked that. I feel like that's a very obvious question. Maybe what sort of games do you like playing? Okay, so I have to avoid the dive bombers here. Okay, so here we're gonna go ahead and create another suspend point simply because we constantly can't get past this area. Where are we in terms of time? I want to say maybe another 20 minutes. Who knows if we'll be finished with Chain Link Chamber or whatever this place was called. Okay, see, and that's why you do things. That's why you take insurance. Overwatch story-driven games like the new Star Wars, which I recommend if you like some similarities of No More Heroes combat. Is that the... I know that one of my friends was playing the new Star Wars. Was it Fallen Order? Anyways, they said that it was something similar to like Dark Souls. But Overwatch is a lot of fun, with the caveat, with a very big caveat, that I am terrible at first-person shooters. And I know that it's not necessarily like a shooter, it's no Counter-Strike or anything. I know that there's a lot more strategy to Overwatch, but I was just terrible at it. I did like to play Reinhardt though. It made me feel very heroic. Okay, so I cheesed that one right there. And little novelty arcade type games like Fall Guys. You know, I've seen so many ads for it and it seemed very interesting, but I've never actually played it. Okay. Well, clearly I have to be a little more active in terms of which chain to skip. No real pressure to games like that, somewhat brainless. I like those games. Yeah, and you know, I feel like there's something to be said about games that just kind of scratch that itch. They're just like fun to play. You don't necessarily have to be accomplishing anything or anything like that. It's more of that Twitch feeling, I think. Twitch feeling trademark. And actually that gives me just another idea. God. Okay. That guy is quick. One of the things that I used to hear in the past was the way in which non-gamers felt about gamers, in the sense that I feel like back in the day there was a lot of like negativity towards a person who played games, and the notion that people were wasting their time, which, you know, everyone has the right to their own opinion and on all that jazz. But it is the sort of thing that I don't know that there is life or satisfaction in life if you have no, and I hate to say this, problems. And sometimes those come from real life and simply trying to survive. And those of us who are more fortunate kind of design our own problems, and they come in the form of games. And so it always struck me as very unusual, the fact that people would suggest that people who were playing games were wasting their time, when in a very real sense what they were doing was designing and interacting with problems that you have strong control over, and that is sufficient and that is satisfactory. And to those naysayers, I say, what is your problem? Your job? Well, good for you. But anyways, just a random thought there. I remember my friend saying, when are they gonna do a mission in a real popular game like Halo or Gears of War back in the day, where the mission is to go to the kitchen, make a sandwich, and sit down and eat it. The thought of that made me so happy, because you constantly always in the run in video games. Why not slow it down? It's fun in a way. Yeah, so sometimes just adding the menial aspects of life to like a game where you have like a clear objective can be like novel and can be captivating. So your friend was probably right, I think. And I think there's no better evidence of that than like simulation games, like farming simulations and things like that. People do very menial things, and apparently that's fun to them, which is great. More power to them. I do enjoy a good farming sim. Okay. Clearly we were wise enough to create that suspend point. Wait a second, why is this character moving so slowly? I thought I had the run button active. Oh, huh. It wasn't the Y. So the way there is not what we're looking for. Ah. Whew, that one was a close one. So we reached the 2 cannons. What we need to do is climbing a rope. Kong's notice a low and banana. Jump directly to the right through the wall. Alright. Did I miss it? There. No, wait, that's the letter N. Okay. Nice. And so we have to try to get around those cannons, if I'm not mistaken. So in order to do that, must jump from the chain through a secret passage wall on the left. Wow, I would have never thought that. And that is where we take our reassurance. Wonderful. We have already failed, but let's see what we can register from the map. So it's gonna be a bit of a climb. Make sure that we hit each barrel shot as quickly as possible. That is lovely, folks. Okay, got it. And actually, I think that's it. If we happen to perish, I think they still register. But let's still try our best. Let's wait for the bees to pass down. Okay, not too shabby. With any luck, we will have completed chain link chamber. I still forget if that's what this level is called. The tension is killing me. Okay. Bro, I saw something so disturbing today make my stomach turn. It was one of those street interviews, and it was a girl who a friend or boyfriend recording with a camera pod. The question was, kiss or slap? And dude said slap, and then he slapped her. Oof, and it wasn't a big one. And all the... That's, Well, I am sure that that was a quite a shocking sight. Uh, I think I've seen. I think one of my siblings likes to watch similar videos, and I often find it so how to say, so surprising that people are actually willing to go through these challenges. I feel like if you were a regular person on the street and somebody like said, "Oh, do this or that," you'd be a little more wary. But to each their own, I guess. Maybe I'm no longer in tune with these things. But yeah, don't. That's wild. Wait a second. Alright, let's see if we can make it when they come down. And of course, first mistake. Okay, well. Great, and so we actually got the exclamation mark on that one. You know what, how close are we to... Yeah, we're pretty close. Let's see, it's fun to watch online in person. In person, it made me sick. The imagination is wild. Well, it is the sort of thing that they say, no matter what you see, on an image like a screen, it's never going to be as intense as something that you can imagine, and so things are best left to the imagination. You know what, maybe I'll do Swanky's bonus bonanza, and maybe that's the last thing that we'll do for tonight. That is true. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're a fan of horror movies, but I do think that generally the things that scare me the most are generally when things are left to question, or like whatever the monster is not necessarily shown. Alright, so let's see if this guy can give us some lives. Great, and everything is complete, so there's no point. You know what, with the next 5 minutes, let's go ahead and get started with the next level. If anything, we'll pick up exactly where this is, except, we'll simply have to remember what we were doing. Okay, and so the annoying thing about this particular level is just the fact that we have all this green juice around us. Toxic tower. Can conquering the imagination be a key component to life, as confident is one of them? Your thoughts? Because even fear is in the imagination. Well, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things to be said. I feel like you've struck a question which is actually quite multi-layered, Inception style, if you will. I think that in terms of the confidence that you have, a lot of it does come from overcoming your own fears, and of course your own fears simply come from the idea of self-doubt that may or may not actually be there. And of course that was terrible. But I guess then the question becomes, does conquering something like fear, or like gaining unconditional confidence, is a key to succeeding in life? And I don't know that, and the thought simply emanates from the fact that I do think that fear is something that's important for us to live. I mean, let's go ahead and talk about it from a biological perspective, right? I feel like our ancestors needed fear to stay alive. They needed fear to understand, you know what, don't go near the brush because there might be a cheetah there to kill you. And so that's the sort of thing that made you stay alive. And these days, it's more of a thing where you might think to yourself, you know what, maybe it's not such a good idea to go into the dark alley with a bunch of thugs. I feel like while you might have the greatest confidence in the world, unless you have amazing martial arts skills like a Donnie Yen playing Ip Man, then maybe you shouldn't go into that alley. So well, yes, I do see your point, and I do think that you do need that mind over matter control over your own fears and self-doubts. I do think that some level of fear is healthy to stay alive. So that's true. It's not something we might not experience, but we can get really close to, and that is good enough to me. Yeah, no, I think, unfortunately, I think, when we start talking about things like this, I hate to say it, but the unfortunate truth is that it's like there's never like a good black or white answer. It's always a simple, there's a balance here, and that's the best that we can get to. It's kind of like I was talking to somebody the other day about stress and work, because of course you got to talk about work when it comes to stress. And it's the sort of thing where, like, well, yeah, I hate having this amount of stress at work, and also I hate work. But imagine a world where you don't have that stress, and would you actually feel compelled to do anything? And I don't know if that's actually the case. And I also don't know that you would be, even outside of the boundaries of work, would you be able to feel compelled to do things like, be a good significant other to somebody if you didn't feel the stress that, if you didn't actually do well by them, that they might leave you. And that's a very loaded question, and I don't mean to be reductionist about it, but yeah, it is kind of the case that these things that we think are negative are not necessarily useless. Life is balance. We are used to stress. It's not right. Life was meant to be enjoyed for a select few. Yeah, and I certainly don't recommend anybody living with stress or anything like that. It's a very unpleasant feeling, but like I said, I do think that it has its practical purposes. The question is, will you be in it or a substitute to it? That's a thinker. No, that's certainly something worth thinking. But we're gonna have to hold that thought, because I think our skill has just run out. Very much like this beer has run out. But always appreciate the loaded questions, the loaded what's the word? Not spatiotemporal, but existential questions. In I go. So with that, let's go to intermission. And so that was Donkey Kong Country 2. We're a couple of levels away from completing our achievement. Of course, we also have, I think, a couple of lost level worlds, and that might take us almost as long as the rest of the campaign. So we'll see how it goes. As you might have noticed, I don't play this game quite often, and it's almost because I feel like I enjoy it a lot. It is a very I have very fond memories of playing this game as a kid, and so I am kind of artificially trying to prolong it. And so if I play it in another month, you'll know the reason why. Thank you, bro. Love tuning into your streams. Thank you very much, Inigo. And like I said, like I've said every single time, I really appreciate the fact that you decide to tune in. You could be doing so many better things with your time. So your company and your conversation is always welcome here. Tomorrow I'll be playing Travis Strikes Again, and I know you're a fan of that. I gotta tell you though, if you tune in, I'll probably just be doing grinding, so don't necessarily feel like you have to tune in for that one. Your insight and exposure to your viewer interaction is quite appreciated. That's the yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we're gonna level up some before that final level. And yeah, so that'll be tomorrow night around this time, and then Friday afternoon we'll actually be playing some Street Fighter 6. Here's hoping it'll be some fun. If you want to see some terrible fighting game skills, please tune into that. Feel free to check out my schedule. I also posted it on Twitter. Fine by me. I'll tune in. Well, you've been warned. But with that, for everyone else tuning in, have a wonderful rest of your night. Hopefully I see you again, and if I don't, have an awesome week, have an awesome weekend, have an awesome June. June is a good month. Sometimes it's a good month. But yeah, stay thirsty, Ale Pack. We'll see you again. And of course, here's me struggling to find the end button. Take care, everyone.